Hello everyone, in today's video we will together look deep into the law of relativity, famously articulated by Albert Einstein, is the cornerstone of modern physics and has also woven its way into philosophical and spiritual thought. While often thought of in terms of scientific theory, it offers deep insights into how we perceive the universe, ourselves, and each other. At its essence, the law of relativity tells us that everything is interconnected and that is nothing exists in isolation, nothing is good or nothing is bad. It suggests that what we experience as reality is always in relation to something else, and that our perception of time, space, and even more truth is inherently relative. The nature of relativity. Imagine you are standing at the edge of the vast ocean, gazing out over the horizon. The water is calm, the sun is setting, and everything feels peaceful and eternal. But then you notice a small boat drifting toward you. You observe its slow progress, seemingly moving toward the shore at a steady pace. However, if you were in the boat, your perspective would be entirely different. What appeared to be a gentle and predictable journey from the shore might feel like an exciting, unpredictable ride as waves shift and the currents pull. The boat is the same, the ocean is the same, but the experience of both is entirely relative to where you stand and how you move within it. The law of relativity, in essence, is about perspective. It teaches us that our understanding of the world is not absolute. It depends on the position and velocity of the observer. In scientific sense, this idea is demonstrated through the concepts of time and space. According to Einstein's theory, the faster you move, the slower time moves relative to someone who is stationary. Similarly, the stronger the gravitational pull you are under, the slower time passes for you compared to someone in the weak gravitational pull you are under, the slower time passes for you compared to someone in a weaker gravitational field. These principles were proven through experiments involving atomic clock on planes and satellites. The very fabric of space-time stretches and bends depending on speed and gravity, altering not just how we experience time, but how we experience the world itself. Metaphorical insights and the law of relativity. To bring the concept of relativity into more poetic and metaphysical context, think about a journey of a river. The river begins as a tiny stream high in the mountains. As it flows downhill, it gains strength, and the nature of its flow is continual, shaped by the landscape, sometimes rushing over rocks in series of violent cascades, sometimes gently meandering through plains. To the fish swimming in it, the water is the same, yet their experience of it entirely shaped by their position in the river. The fish near the rapids experience danger, speed, and the constant struggle against the current. Meanwhile, the fish downstream enjoy the calm and peace of the wide, slow-moving river. Similarly, our lives are shaped by our position in the river of time and experience. What feels challenging for one person may feel a gentle current to another, and what feels like peaceful stretch of calm water may seem to someone else like stagnation. The point is that the experience itself, the meaning and the impact of the journey is defined by the relationship between the individual and the flow. The river, like the universe, is constant, but the perspective changes. In more personal level, the law of relativity also applies in our inner world. Consider two individuals in a conflict. Each is operating from distinct viewpoints. One might feel wrong, the other might feel misunderstood. Both are adamant that their perspective is the correct one. The more each holds tightly to their perception of the situation, the more rigid and unyielding the conflict becomes. But if they were to step outside of their personal views and see things from the other's perspective, that might once have seemed like a personal attack could be understood as a miscommunication, a result of past experiences, or a simple difference in values. Suddenly, the conflict becomes less about right and wrong and more about understanding and compromise. This shifting of perspective is exactly what the law of relativity teaches us. There is no one absolutely truth, only relative truths shaped by our position, context, and history. The application to life. What's profound about the law is its ability to reshape how we live and relate to others. Imagine if we approach life with the understanding that much of what we experience is shaped by our relative position in the world. How might we begin to see others differently? How might we interpret our struggles and successes? One of the most powerful implications of the law of relativity is that it encourages empathy. If we can acknowledge that our perspectives are not the only valid ones, we also open ourselves up to understanding the broader, more nuanced reality of others. When we begin to view the world through this lens, we realize that our challenges, while real and important, are not universal. What may seem like hardship to one may be mere stepping stones to the other. Likewise, what we perceive as an achievement may be less significant in someone else's eyes. In this way, the law of relativity becomes not just a physical law, it's a tool for personal growth. It teaches us that the way we perceive our lives, others, and the world around us is fluid. It suggests that we are all, in some sense, like the fish in the river, moving through time, caught up with currents, but constantly adjusting to our environment. Perhaps the most beautiful lesson that the law of relativity offers is the invitation to soften our grip on absolutes, to recognize that our experiences are subjective and that nothing exists in isolation. Time, space, success, failure, happiness, and suffering. All of these are relative. They depend on where we stand and how we move. And once we come to the terms with that, life becomes less about winning or losing and more about flowing, understanding, and adapting to the ebb and flow of the currents. The law of relativity extends far beyond the realm of science. It invites us to explore the vastness of experience, to recognize the interconnectedness of all things, and embrace the relative nature of truth, much like the river that winds its way toward the sea. We too are part of something much larger than ourselves, and through our shifting perspective, we come to see that the universe in all its complexity is as much about how we perceive it as is about the way it is. Thank you so much, and I hope this helped you a little bit to understand the word and the law of relativity. Please help me to click like and subscribe to listen to other laws of the universe. Thank you.